Joined by Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. He's on the House Oversight, Foreign Affairs, and Transportation Committees. Congressman, welcome to the show. It's good to see you this evening. All right, I do want to get to you and talk about President Biden's classified documents in just a moment, but you have been one of the many members who has actually been outspoken about DirecTV removing Newsmax from its channel lineup, and I wanted to get your response to this.
Yes, ma'am. It's 100% censorship. I mean, if you all were some liberal Marxist station that nobody watched, I'm sure they would be bending over backwards to help you. That's why I was immediately, when asked about the letter, there's my signature there. You can hardly read it, I'm sure. But the truth is that it is just a clear attack on conservative television. There's probably a dozen liberal television stations that nobody watches, and they're not doing anything to them, of course. It's clear that you all are making a stand. I mean, if y'all would come out today and be Marxist, I'm sure they would. AT&T and the big boys would embrace you all and invite y'all back in. I'd ask people to call their providers and say, hey, what the heck is going on? I don't like this. I'm going to, as my economics professor told me at University of Tennessee, I'm going to cast my dollar votes elsewhere, and we're going to pull y'all out of our house. And that's exactly what the Burchetts are going to do. This is ridiculous. It's censorship, and it's not American. It cannot stand.
Well, we appreciate your support on that. And it's been crazy just to see the amount of onpouring that we have had from viewers who've said they've already switched providers because they're so frustrated and the precedent that this sets. I do want to move on to Biden's classified documents. Your colleagues in the Senate have been very outspoken, and so have you all in the House. Growing frustration over the White House and the Justice Department finger-pointing, stonewalling classified document request. When do you think that we'll actually see things move forward? Because it seems like at every angle, they are just slow-rolling this as much as possible.
Probably when Jesus comes back, ma'am. I don't expect him to move very fast at all. This bunch of, when you get your hand caught in the cookie jar, that's all Washington does. They just delay. They know they got a huge problem. We've got a huge problem with our Justice Department. It is a misnomer in a name in itself. It's corruption is what's going on there now. And that's why I'm so glad Jamie Comer and Jim Jordan have highlighted some of these issues that we'll be attacking, because the American public needs to know what the heck's going on. This is a cover-up once again, and they will just try to run the clock out.
Let me ask you about this. You are on the House Oversight Committee, and the National Archives has now said that they will grant you a meeting next week, saying that Chairman Comer, he's been requesting for this. They were supposed to give him a briefing originally, which they have denied. What do you expect to get out of that meeting next week?
Well, that's really big of them. Congress handles their, we're the checkbook of the federal government, and that's where we need to start. I'm going to suggest to Chairman Comer that maybe we start looking at budgetary issues with those folks, because if they don't get out of the way and do their job, we need to start looking elsewhere. And I think that's exactly what we need to do. Some of these fat cat bureaucrats that never hit a lick their entire life, that probably are working from home still because of COVID, will not answer these calls. And it's ridiculous is what it is. We need to start flexing our muscle, quit talking. Let's bring them into the mat, and let's see what they got.
I mean, you all are the ones with the subpoena power at this point. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked today why President Biden didn't notify the public about his hidden classified documents when he first found out about them on November 2nd, right before the midterms, and if any more documents have been found in any other locations. And this is what Karine Jean-Pierre had to say. Listen.
I would refer you to the White House counsel's office. I would refer you to the White House counsel. I would refer you to the White House counsel. I would refer you to the White House counsel who has put out statements on this.
Okay, what is your reaction to that? Because at the end of the day, this is an ongoing investigation, but at some point, this is the battle now. It's over. When are you guys going to get these documents?
And when are they going to come forward? Poor Joe Biden, ma'am. He still ain't found the soft-serve ice cream machine in the White House. This is ridiculous. This lady is way out of her league. They check a box. They put her in this position. She clearly is way over her head. showing the Corvette now and the documents back there. And I'm not sure if Hunter's back there with strippers or not. I don't know. But I mean, I've had it. I've had it with this administration and what's going on, because the American public deserves to know. It is a double standard over the way they handled Trump versus the way they've done this. And clearly the whole thing is there's more documents, I'm sure, that are out there. They're not going to tell us what documents are that they found. And I think it is also very telling that Democrats have not been briefed on the contents of those documents because they want plausible deniability. They want to be able to say, I don't know what's in those. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't know anything about them. And that's exactly, and to me, that is the most telling thing of this whole thing. I think there is a smoking gun there, and I think it's going to show the ineptitude of this White House. But I also think his own people set him up and leaked this. They held it out for the midterms, so we got through the midterms, and then they unload it now so that it looks bad on the president, because it easily should look bad on the president. And so I think the swamp is accomplishing. It's very Clinton-esque the way this is going about, and I suspect that there's more to this.
Well, it does seem like there's more to this. A lot of questions that have gone unanswered so far. Congressman Burchett, it's great to see you this evening. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great weekend.